Hello, my name is Melissa, and I know why you're here. Your baby won't sleep, you're exhausted, and you've tried everything. This series was developed by Dr. Greg Oji, a pediatrician with 37 years of experience who has helped over 2,000 families solve this exact problem. What you're about to learn works because it's been tested on thousands of real babies in real homes. Subscribe now, and let's end those sleepless nights together. Let's get started. Feeding your baby, the foundation of good sleep. Here's a truth that might surprise you. Feeding and sleeping are deeply connected. A well-fed baby sleeps better. A well-rested baby feeds better. They're two sides of the same coin. In this chapter, I'm going to give you clear, practical feeding guidelines that support good sleep. I'll keep the numbers simple and the recommendations achievable. This isn't about perfection. It's about making sure your baby is getting what they need to sleep well and grow strong. Newborns, 0 to 30 days. The every 2-3 hour phase. How much your baby needs. Let me give you the numbers that matter, and I promise to keep this as simple as possible. Your newborn needs about 70 to 80 milliliters of breast milk or formula per pound of body weight every 24 hours. That's the main number to remember. For those who want to understand the calories, this translates to 45 to 55 calories per pound, or 100 to 120 calories per kilogram. But honestly, you don't need to think about calories at home. Focus on the volume, 70 to 80 milliliters per pound per day. The simple formula to remember. If you're formula feeding, here's a helpful conversion. 30 milliliters of standard formula or breast milk contains about 20 calories. This makes it easy to calculate your baby's needs. For example, if your baby weighs 8 pounds, 8 pounds times 70 milliliters equals 560 milliliters per day. Consider this minimum. 8 pounds times 80 milliliters equals 640 milliliters per day. Consider this average. If you're feeding every 3 hours, 8 feeds per day, that's roughly 70 to 80 milliliters per feed. See? Not as complicated as it seems. Want the complete guide with every detail and strategy? Get the book Sleep Training Made Simple by Dr. Greg M Oji on Amazon. The link is right here in the description. We just covered one piece. The book gives you everything. Click that link, get your copy, subscribe for more videos, and let's transform your nights starting tonight. Remember, these are merely guidelines and not rigid rules. We encourage that newborn babies feed on demand. In situations where your baby is not gaining enough weight or is spitting up after feeds, then it may become important to enforce minimum feeding volumes for poor weight gain. Or we may limit maximum feeding volumes for babies with reflux. Important note for special cases. Some babies need special formulas with higher calorie content, particularly premature babies or those with certain medical conditions. If your baby falls into this category, your pediatrician will guide you on the specific formula and amounts. For everyone else, standard formula or breast milk works perfectly. Should you wake your baby to feed? Yes. During the first month, you need to wake your baby every 3 hours during the day to feed. I know this feels counterintuitive. Why wake a sleeping baby? But here's why it matters. Your newborn needs frequent feeds to maintain blood sugar. Regular feeding helps establish your milk supply if you're breastfeeding. It ensures your baby gets enough total calories in 24 hours. It helps distinguish day from night, active days, restful nights. At night, you can let your newborn sleep a bit longer, up to 4 hours before feeding. But during the day, set an alarm if you need to. Those daytime feeds matter. For breastfed babies, watching wet diapers. If you're breastfeeding, you obviously can't measure exact volumes at home. So how do you know if your baby is getting enough? The answer is simple. Count or weigh wet diapers. A well-fed breastfed baby should have 7 to 12 or more wet diapers every 24 hours. Pale yellow urine, dark yellow or orange suggests dehydration. Several dirty diapers per day in the early weeks. If your baby is having 7 to 12 plus wet diapers and gaining weight at pediatrician visits, they're getting enough breast milk. Simple as that. You don't need to stress about milliliters and ounces. Days 30 to 90. Your baby starts sleeping longer. Let them sleep, but check the daily total feed volume. Great news. After the first month, you can let your baby sleep longer stretches at night. If they sleep 5, 6, or even 7 hours straight, don't wake them. Let them sleep. But here's the catch. They still need their total daily volume. So if your baby sleeps longer at night, they'll need to eat more during the day. This is completely normal and healthy.
Your baby is getting smarter about eating. They're learning to take bigger feeds during the day and sleep longer at night. Support this natural shift by offering full feeds during daytime hours, making daytime feeds engaging and alert, keeping nighttime feeds calm and dimly lit, not rushing to feed at every nighttime whimper. Give them a moment to settle. When to worry and when not to. Don't worry if your baby's feeding schedule varies from day to day. Some feeds are bigger, some smaller. They're eating less per feed but more frequently, or vice versa. They wake up hungry after a longer sleep stretch. They're eating more during growth spurts, usually around 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 3 months. Do contact your pediatrician if your baby isn't waking to eat at least every 4 to 5 hours. They're consistently refusing feeds. Wet diapers drop below 6 to 7 per day. They're not gaining weight appropriately. They seem lethargic or unresponsive. They're consistently fussy after feeds or showing signs of reflux. 4 months and beyond. The new routine, 5 to 6 feeds a day. Once your baby reaches 4 months, you'll naturally settle into a pattern that looks something like this. Breakfast, morning feed. Mid-morning snack, between breakfast and lunch. Lunch, midday feed. Afternoon snack, between lunch and dinner. Dinner, evening feed, usually before bedtime. Maybe one extra feed in between. At this age, breast milk or formula is still your baby's main source of nutrition. The 5 or 6 feeds should still be all milk or formula. Remember, your baby still needs to drink 70 to 80 milliliters of formula or breast milk per pound of body weight. Let's use an average of 75 milliliters per pound. So if your baby is, say, 12 pounds at this stage, they need about 75 times 12 equals 900 milliliters of milk or 30 ounces. If the same baby is getting 5 feeds during the day, then baby needs 6 ounces of milk per feed to meet up the daily requirement. If your baby is not taking up to 6 ounces per feed, no need to worry. Simply increase the number of feeds to 6 or even 7 as needed. What makes this schedule work for sleep? It clusters the bulk of nutrition into daytime hours, reducing the need for nighttime feeds. Your baby gets all their calories during the day, so they can sleep longer at night. 6 months plus. Adding semi-solids. Introducing real food. Around 6 months, you'll start introducing solid foods, or more accurately, semi-solid foods, since everything is pureed or mashed at first. This is an exciting milestone, but it doesn't mean milk is done. Far from it. Here's how it typically evolves. 6 to 7 months. Start with single-ingredient purees at 1 meal per day, then gradually increase. 7 to 9 months. Offer semi-solids at 2 or 3 meals, continuing with breast milk or formula. 9 to 12 months. 3 semi-solid meals plus snacks, with breast milk or formula still important. You may now begin to introduce real solid foods, but ensure food is soft. Vegetables should be cooked to be very soft at this stage. No raw vegetables. You may also offer finger foods that baby may hold and eat. Self-feeding should also be encouraged at this stage. Don't worry about the mess the baby makes at first. It gets less messy with time as practice makes perfect. What replaces what? A common pattern that works well for both nutrition and sleep. Breakfast, breast milk or formula. Mid-morning snack. Semi-solid food, pureed fruits, vegetables, grains. Lunch, breast milk or formula. Afternoon snack, semi-solid food. Dinner, breast milk or formula, before bedtime. This gives you 3 milk feeds and 2 solid food feeds. The solid foods replace the snacks while maintaining those important milk feeds that your baby still relies on for calories and nutrition.
As your baby gets older and eats more solid food, you might gradually shift to solid foods at all 3 main meals, with milk as part of those meals or as snacks. But there's no rush. Follow your baby's lead and your pediatrician's guidance. Homemade versus store-bought or WIC. You can absolutely make your own baby food at home. It's often cheaper, and you know exactly what's in it. Pureed vegetables, mashed bananas, cooked and mashed sweet potatoes, oatmeal thinned with breast milk or formula. All of these are excellent first foods. Or you can use store-bought baby food. WIC also offers excellent baby food choices if your baby is qualified. All are fine. Do what works for your family, your schedule, and your budget. Your baby doesn't know the difference, and either choice can be nutritious. What matters more than where the food comes from? Offer a variety of foods to expose your baby to different tastes. Introduce one new food at a time. Wait 3 to 5 days before adding another. Make mealtimes pleasant and pressure-free. Let your baby explore food at their own pace. Continue offering breast milk or formula as the main nutrition source. The weight check reality. Doctor visits as your measuring stick. Here's the most important thing I can tell you about feeding. Your pediatrician visits are your reality check. If your baby is gaining weight appropriately, you're feeding them enough, period. You don't need a fancy scale at home. You don't need to weigh every diaper or measure every ounce obsessively. Regular pediatrician visits will show you if your baby is thriving. Babies typically follow a growth curve, gaining 5 to 7 ounces per week in the first few months, about 1 to 2 pounds per month in the early months, doubling their birth weight by about 5 months, tripling their birth weight by about 12 months. But here's the thing. These are averages. Some babies are naturally bigger, some smaller. Some gain faster, some slower. What matters is that your individual baby is following their own growth curve, not that they match some arbitrary percentile. When to worry versus when to relax. Relax if your baby is gaining weight steadily, even if slowly. They're alert and active. They have good wet diaper output. Your pediatrician isn't concerned. They're meeting developmental milestones. Talk to your pediatrician if your baby isn't gaining weight or is losing weight. They've fallen significantly off their growth curve. They seem lethargic or uninterested in feeding. They're having fewer than 6 wet diapers per day. You're worried, even if you can't pinpoint why. That last one is important. If your gut tells you something is wrong, don't dismiss it. Call your pediatrician. That's what we're here for. Feeding your baby well is one of the foundations of good sleep. When your baby's hunger is satisfied and their nutrition is adequate, they'll be able to sleep longer stretches. And when they sleep better, they'll feed more efficiently. It's a positive cycle. Now that we've covered the basics of sleep and feeding, it's time to talk about when and how to start sleep training. That's where the real transformation begins. Want the complete guide with every detail and strategy? Get the book Sleep Training Made Simple by Dr. Greg M Oji on Amazon. The link is right here in the description. We just covered one piece. The book gives you everything. Click that link, get your copy, subscribe for more videos, and let's transform your nights starting tonight.